Welcome to my algebra class. We're on chapter 10, section 2. We're going to be solving inequalities. We're going to review the property of comparison, which says if I have two values, either the first one is less than the second or equal to it or greater than. So we'll be using that later. We're going to be solving some inequalities here, and basically they're done very similar to solving an equation. This is a one-step inequality, so we're going to add 4 to both sides to solve for m. So now we have m is less than 6. So our solution set are all the numbers less than 6, and since we can't write all those out, we graph them. So we make a number line, put down 6, put a number after, a number before, and the less than says I can't include the number 6 as a solution. But it's all the numbers less than 6, so I use an open circle shaded to the left, and then a solid arrow at the end of the line. So this line indicates that all the numbers less than 6 would be a solution, such as 5, 4, 3, so on. So if I put in, for example, -3 minus 4, I get -7, which is less than 2. The second inequality involves an addition problem, so we're going to solve for m. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides, and we get m is greater than -4. Again, to show all possible solutions, we're going to graph it. So we put down -4, a number to the right of it, -3, a number to the left. Since it's greater than, I can't include the -4, so I use an open circle to show that it's all the numbers greater than -4, a solid line, and then a solid arrow. The next example is a multiplication one. To solve, we do the opposite of multiplication, divide both sides by 5, and we get x is less than -2. Graphing that, put down -2, a number to the left of it, -3, a number to the right, -1. It's all the numbers less than -2, so an open circle, shaded to the left, solid arrow at the end. Now the next example, watch what's going to happen, because it's not going to work if I continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to divide both sides by -2, and I get x supposedly greater than -12. Well, if I take a number greater than -12, let's say 10, for example, 10 times -2 is -20, and that doesn't work. So we're going to have to do something different, and the reason we're going to have to do something different is when we multiply or divide by a negative number, it affects the value of that number. So if I have x is greater than -3, and I multiply this by both of these by -3, I get -3. Let's second thought, I'll just give you a number instead. So if I take -2 is greater than -3, if I multiply -2 and -3 by a negative number, let's say -4, a -2 times the -4 is +8. A -3 times the -4 is +12. Well, what happens is this first number is no longer greater than the second. It is now less than. So when we work with inequalities, whenever we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to change the inequality. So this one here, we have to change it to less than or equal to -12. And then we graph it. So we put -12 down, -11, negative 13, and this time, since it says less than or equal to, I put a solid circle shaded to the left. And now this works. For example, negative 13 is, if I put that in there, I get positive 26, which is greater than 24. The next example is a division problem. To get rid of dividing by 5, I multiply both sides by 5. So I get x, and since that's not a negative number, I don't turn the inequality. X is less than or equal to 15. Graph it. So all the numbers less than or equal to 15. So I have 15, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. Closed circle, since it's less than or equal to 15, shaded to the left. And remember, you can always check if you got it shaded correctly just by taking a number on that solid line, like 14. 14 is less than 15. And the last problem, we're dividing by negative 8, so we're going to multiply by negative 8. And since that is a negative number, it will turn the inequality from greater than to less than. So we get x is less than negative 32, and graph it. We have negative 32, negative 31, negative 33. And it says less than, open circle, shaded to the left. Solid arrow at the end. And I can check to see that this is right. I could take negative 40 divided by negative 8 is a positive 5, and that is greater than 4. So I do have it shaded correctly. So always remember, when you're working inequalities, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to turn the inequality to its other value, other one. So greater than would become less than, and less than would become greater than. We're ready to start the evens. So you need to get a paper and your book open to 466, written 1 to 40. Paper's headed, folded in half, and we're doing problem number 2. The directions say to solve each inequality in exercises 1 to 10 and write the letter of its graph. So number 2, and copy it down, it says 10 is less than z plus 8. So if I subtract 8 from both sides, I get 2 is less than z. And whenever you get a situation where the variable is on the right side of the inequality, to help you find the graph, or to correctly graph it, turn it around. If 2 is less than z, and this is where we use the comparison property, then z must be greater than 2. So looking at the graphs, we're looking for one that has an open circle at 2. Now you don't have to do the graphs for these, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this one. Shaded to the right, and that would be letter D. Excuse me, A. So the answer to this one is A. Problem number 4. We have 18 is less than or equal to 6v. Solving for v, divide both sides by 6. We get 3 is less than or equal to v. I'm going to turn that around. V, if 3 is less than or equal to v, then v is greater than or equal to 3. So I'm looking for a graph with a closed circle at 3. Shaded to the right. And that would be letter H. Number 6, we have D over 2 is greater than negative 10. Since we're dividing by 2, we're going to multiply by 2. And we get D is greater than negative 20. So we're looking for an open circle at negative 20. Shaded to the right. And that would be letter G. Problem number 8, we have 3 is less than or equal to x divided by -2. We'd have to multiply both sides by -2, so that will turn the inequality. So this is a -6 is greater than or equal to x. And then we're going to turn it again so it looks like the number line. X is less than or equal to -6. So we're looking for a closed circle at -6. Shaded to the left, solid arrow. And for number 8, that would be letter I. And problem 10, we have t plus 2 is greater than t plus 1. Well, the first thing to do here is get the t's on one side. So we're going to subtract the t. And we get 2 is greater than 1. Since this is a true statement, the reals, or all the numbers on the number line, would be a solution, so the graph would be the entire number line. So it'd be a solid arrows at both ends, and then everything shaded in between. And that would be C. Problem number 12, the directions are solve each inequality, graph the solution set if there is one. So number 12, a plus 3 is less than 11. Subtract 3 from both sides, we get a is less than 8. Graph the inequality. Put one number to the right, one to the left. It's less than, so open circle is shaded to the left. Solid arrow. Number 14, we have 4q is less than 12. Solve for q, we're going to have to divide by 4. So q is less than 3. We put 3 down, one number to the right, one to the left. It's less than, so open circle, shaded to the left. Solid arrow at the end. Number 16, we have -6 is greater than s divided by 3. Solve for s, we need to multiply both sides by 3. So we get -18 is greater than s. To correctly graph this, we need to put the variable first. So if -18 is greater than s, s is less than -18. You have to turn these inequalities around so the variable is first so you graph correctly. So we put -18 down. This is -19, -17 to this side. Open circle, shaded to the left. Solid arrow at the end. Problem 18, we have -5w is less than or equal to 15. We divide by -5, and remember what happens when we divide or multiply by negative numbers. We have to turn the inequality around. So this is w is greater than or equal to -3. Graphing. Put down -3, a number to the left, -4, next number to the right, -2. It says greater than or equal to, so we're going to put a solid circle, shaded to the right, and a solid arrow at the end. Problem number 20, we have a two-step problem. 2v plus 1 is greater than 7. So we're going to do addition first, subtract 1 from both sides, and we get 2v is greater than 6. Then divide by 2, and v is greater than 3. Graphing it. Indicate 3, number to the left is first number to the left is 2, and then to 4. And we have an open circle at 3. It just says greater than, shaded to the right, and a solid arrow at the end. Problem number 22. 7 is greater than or equal to 2k minus 7. Two-step problem, so we're going to undo the minus 7 first by adding 7. And we have 14 is greater than or equal to 2k. Then divide by 2 to solve for k. So we get 7 is greater than or equal to k. We need to turn it around so we can graph it correctly. So k is less than or equal to 7. So we put 7 down. First number to the left is 6, and then 8 to the right. And we're going to put a closed circle since it says less than or equal to, shaded to the left, solid arrow. Problem number 24. I have negative 4 is greater than or equal to 4 minus u over 2. First step is to get rid of the 4, so we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So we have negative 8 is greater than or equal to negative u over 2. Now to get rid of the negative sign and 2, I can multiply both sides by negative 2. So I get 16, and this turns into equality, less than or equal to u. Rewriting it to graph it correctly, u is greater than or equal to 16 if 16 is less than or equal to u. And we put 16 down, and to the left of it 15, and to the right 17. And it's greater than or equal to, so solid circle is shaded to the right. Number 26, we have 5 plus x over 3 is less than or equal to 6. Subtract 5 first from both sides, and we get x over 3 is less than or equal to 1. Multiply both sides by 3, and we get x is less than or equal to 3. Put 3 down, 4 to the right, and 2 to the left. It's less than or equal to, so we want a solid circle shaded to the left. Number 28, we have 0 is greater than 6 minus 2/3 d. First step is to get rid of the 6 from the right side, so we subtract 6. We have negative 6 is greater than negative 2/3 d. To get rid of negative 2/3, use its reciprocal, which is negative 3/2. Multiply by negative 3/2. That'll cancel those out. That will turn the inequality to less than. And 2 goes into negative 6. 3 times negative is positive 9. Is less than d. Turn it around so it fits the graph. If 9 is less than d, d is greater than 9. Graphing it, we put 9 down. Number to the left is 8, and to the right is 10. We have an open circle at 9 shaded to the right, and a solid arrow. Problem number 30. 3f minus 4 is less than 2f plus 5. Get the variables on one side first, so we're going to subtract 2f. Try and keep things positive. So we have f minus 4 is less than 5. Then add 4 to both sides, and we have f is less than 9. Graphing that, put down 9, a number to the left, a number to the right, and it says less than, so open circle, shaded, whoops, wrong way, shaded to the left, and solid arrow. 32, we have 8 minus 2b is greater than 4 minus b. First step is get the b's on one side, so I'm going to add 2b to both sides. So we get 8 is greater than 4 plus b. Subtract 4. And I have 4 is greater than b, therefore b is less than 4. Graphing that. Put 4 down, 5, 3, and then you put an open circle at 4, shaded to the left, solid arrow. (34). We have 8 is less than 2 times the quantity 4 minus m. Get rid of the parentheses. So we have 8 is less than 8 minus 2m. Subtract 8 from both sides. We have 0 is less than negative 2m. Now we need to divide by negative 2. That will turn the inequality. So we have 0 is greater than m. Now you have to turn it again so that you have the graph correct. So if 0 is greater than m, m is less than 0. Graphing it. One number to the left, one to the right, and it's less than, so open circle at 0, shaded to the left, solid arrow. (36). We have 7a is less than 3 plus 7 times the quantity a minus 1. Use your distributive property first to get rid of the parentheses, so that would be 7a minus 7. Collect like terms, simplify the right side, that would be 7a minus 4. So we're going to add 4 to both sides, we're going to get the variable on one side. So we're going to subtract 7a from both sides. So we get 0 is less than negative 4, and that's a false statement. So there's no solution. And 38, we have 4 times the quantity 2 minus v is greater than or equal to the opposite of v minus 5. So we're going to get rid of the parentheses, use the distributive property. 4 times 2 is 8, minus 4v is greater than or equal to the opposite of this would be negative v plus 5. Get the v's on one side. I'm going to add 4v to both sides. So I have 8 is greater than or equal to 3v plus 5. Subtract 5. I get 3 is greater than or equal to 3v. Divide by 3, and I get 1 is greater than or equal to v. Turn it around so you can graph correctly. 1 is less than or equal to v. V is less than or equal to 1. Graphing it. Put 1 down, 0, 2, close circle at 1, shaded to the left, solid arrow at the end. And problem number 40, we have 3/4 is less than 6 minus 1/2 a. First step, let's get rid of the fractions, so we'll multiply by 4. So that gives us 3 is less than 24 minus 2a. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So subtract 24 from both sides, and I get negative 21 is less than negative 2a. Divide by negative 2. That'll turn the inequality. So we get 21 halves is greater than A. Turn that around, A is greater than 21 halves, or 10 and a half. And graphing it, here's 10 and here's 11, and 10 and a half is in between, halfway between. So we're going to have an open circle there and shaded to the right, solid arrow at the end. That concludes the evens. Be sure you check the back of the book for the answers to the odds.